What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Brian Tinker from Tinker Homes. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the company you're going to hire to build your project. So obviously this is very important. You've heard way more nightmare stories about contractors than you've heard success stories. So we're going to go over 3 things today. Number 1, you have to get references for your contractor. You have to get 3 credible references. And when you call, and it's very uncomfortable to do that, I get it, but you need to call those previous owners that contractor has worked with, and obviously they're going to be their best clients, given, no brainer. But you want to ask, what was the scope of your project? If you're building a brand new home and all they did was a kitchen, that is not an appropriate reference for your project. You need to make sure that they have built custom homes before. What was that process like? How was their paperwork, their communication? How was the bank draw process or the finance process? Whatever that looks like, make sure you contact those references. Number 2, absolutely guaranteed, is insurance. Make sure you get an up-to-date general liability statement from your contractor as to their liability insurance. That is absolutely crucial. That is to make sure that if something happens outside of lightning strikes or forest fires or anything like that, or somebody just puts rags together and burns the house down, those other things are actually acts of God. Rags, mistakes, I was torching something, the whole thing went up. That's all general liability insurance, and you're going to go back after your contractor to pay for it all, or their subcontractor and the contractor, because the contractor gets involved in all lawsuits, which is a bummer, but it's part of the way it goes, and it's there to protect you and to protect us, honestly. Everybody understands the process. Number 3 is be sure your contractor has a good contract. And this is a contract that protects the contractor, obviously, and your contractor had it written by their attorney, usually. So it's important that you walk through and say, is this whole thing skewed towards the contractor? And they're the only ones that can win. So in my contract, I have a default by builder section, and then I have a default by owner section. So it clearly defines defaults and how that works, and what the owner does or what the builder does, how that qualifies as a default, and then what has to be done per your state's, ours is the Colorado defects law, but construction defect laws in your state are very important. Typically, you have so many days to write a formal complaint that you should put in a registered or certified letter. And then you have your contractor has so many days to respond. And then if you accept what they've said, and typically what the cure is, that's the word the legalese is for it, that you'll cure it, and if it's acceptable to you, or if they say we will cure it right back to the original plans because that was a misunderstanding, that is not something that if they offer to cure back to 100% original plans, you cannot reject that without you defaulting on the contract. So those little nuances are super important. And now my company happens to be a corporation. I like that because it helps me on the tax side. It's an S Corp. But a lot of guys that you're going to work with are LLCs, and that's not uncommon. They have a limited liability company, and that's great. They're perfectly legit, but it's not a bad idea to do a little research on them. Go to the Secretary of State for your state and look up their company name. Are they in good standing? Those type of things. Do your homework on your contractor, and then make sure when you ask those references, one last point back to those references, how long did they say it was going to take, and how long did it take? That's part 1 of that. Secondary part is how much did they say it was going to cost, and then how much did it actually cost. If you get to the point where you're too much of a sticky spot with your contractor, see if you can find mediation that's legally binding so you guys can work through the problem together. That's about it for us today. Thanks so much for talking about the company you're going to hire. If you would, please like us down below, and better yet, subscribe or send this video to your favorite friend who's going to work on a project as well. Have a great day. Talk again soon.